Most traders think that inconsistency is to do with discipline. They think it's a discipline problem. And what they don't understand is that actually inconsistency is caused by several psychological loops that keep repeating. And these loops repeat every week. And until you fix those loops, you're never going to understand why you react and behave the way you do within your trading. And it's always going to be difficult. So in this video, I'm going to go through 3 psychological loops that you never even thought about or heard of that's affecting your trading and your consistency as it is right now. So you need to actually know this and be aware of this in order to level up. And until you understand these, you're always going to be stuck. So if you watch this through to the end, there's a 4th loop that I'm going to tell you about as a bonus loop, okay? And this is going to help you level up even faster. So make sure you watch this to the end. So let's get started. So the first loop, okay, is what we call the emotional loop. Now, what happens here is that you are stuck in this emotional pattern, this negative loop. So it looks like this. You take a loss and you're unaware of your emotions. You feel bad about your loss and you are angry or annoyed of your loss. You have this negative emotion which has now been triggered by the loss, an external event, and you're not responding. You're reacting by being annoyed, by being revengeful, by having this fear. Okay, so what happens here is this loop is the beginning, this event, this loss is the beginning of the loop that is going to make you either revenge trade or fear your next trade. You're going to have fear getting into your next trade because you're going to hesitate, because you're going to feel this emotion that has been triggered, okay? And you're not aware of it, and this is how it's affecting you indirectly, okay? And you just don't know why you're reacting the way you are. But this is the reason why, and you need to understand this. This is the emotional loop, okay? So you have to clear these emotions, okay, and fix this root cause, okay, so that when you take a loss, it's no big deal. It's just meh, it's just a loss, okay? It's just part of your trading. You don't need to go and change anything. You just need to keep trading your next setup. Does that make sense? But what happens is you have this upset, you have this loss, and then it creates all kinds of bad reactions, okay? And you might even end up changing your strategy. Okay, so then you're stuck in this loop. Okay, so that is the first psychological loop that you need to understand, and you need to overcome and control this, okay? Otherwise, it's always going to be the same nonsense every week. You're going to have the same issues every week, and you're never really going to have your breakthrough, okay? So understand this one. This is very important. So the second psychological loop, okay, is what we call the dopamine-confidence loop. So it looks like this. You have a win, okay? So you either take a loss or you take a win, okay? This time you have a win. And in this case, your tiny little win makes you feel so good, okay? You feel confident. You start feeling invincible. You think you're smart. You think you figured out the market. You think whatever. Your ego is totally inflated, and because of that win, it triggers greed, it triggers impulsiveness. So now you think, okay, well, that was easy. Maybe I'll just double up my lots for the next one and I can do it again. You see? So then you go in big, you try to double your position for the next trade, and then that one is a loss, and now you're in the red. You see? So this is a serious issue that a lot of people deal with in trading, is that they have a win and they think they're invincible. So that is the dopamine hit, okay? Winning. You see, you have to be immune to winning, and you have to also be immune to losing, okay? It's none of them, none of those outcomes should affect you. You don't need to react. You have to respond, and you respond by not responding, by not reacting, okay? So you have the win, and then your head explodes, and you think you're untouchable, okay? And that causes you to size up, and that is the fastest way. So you start getting overconfident and rushing into trades, or skipping your confirmations or your confluences, or taking reckless risks. You're not being good with your risk management, and you're just being greedy, okay? So this is going to destroy your account. You're not going to be consistent if you're trading from this loop, okay? So that is the second loop. It's called the dopamine loop. Now, so the third loop is the self-image, self-identity sabotaging loop, okay? See, I told you, you've never heard of these, okay? And you have to understand these at the core level so that you can spot them when they're happening and call them out and avoid it, okay? So the self-sabotage, self-image sabotage loop, it looks like this, right? You say to yourself, you want to be a consistent trader, okay? Fine. But then your actions don't match your conscious decision. You don't back test. You don't wake up early. You still eat like shit. You don't go to the gym. You overtrade. You have no self-control. You still watch porn. You're scrolling on TikTok. You're doom scrolling. You're doing everything bad. But you're saying that you want to be a consistent trader, but your actions don't match. You see? So when your actions don't match, right? Your mind, your subconscious mind doesn't trust yourself, doesn't trust you, right? Now, I'm not saying this to be mean or look down or hurt you emotionally or whatever, okay? I'm telling you this so that you understand, so that you can snap out of it, okay? Because what you say and what you do, if it does not match, it destroys your self-confidence, it destroys your discipline, your self-image, your self-esteem, okay? If you cannot stick to a simple daily routine and go to the gym and do your thing and wake up on time and backtest and do all of those things, when you come to the market and there's pressure and there's things happening and everything's moving, you're not going to respond correctly. You're not going to be able to trust yourself. So you're going to self-sabotage, okay? You're going to feel bad, right? You're going to feel bad when the rubber hits the road and you're in a drawdown and you can't trust yourself or your system to get yourself out. Does that make sense? You're not strict with yourself outside of the market, so you're going to break your rules. You see how that works? You're going to break all of your rules, your entry, you're going to FOMO, you're going to do all the stupid rookie mistakes again, like every week. And this is going to destroy you from the inside out because you want to be consistent, but you're not. Your results are not being consistent and it's reflecting, and now you feel bad. You feel bad inside, you see? And it's eating you alive from the inside because what you say and what you do doesn't match, okay? So you need to take every moment of your day seriously outside of the markets, okay? And you want to spend as little time in the market as you can, as humanly possible. You don't want to be hanging around pretending, confusing work and chart time, okay? You want to do chart time, go back test, okay? That will do much more for you than hanging around trying to get your dopamine hits and fix your ego in front of the charts. That doesn't work like that, okay? So that's number 3. And so if you've made it this far, congratulations, okay? You're not a beginner. You're someone that takes yourself seriously. You want to master this craft, okay? You're fed up of the boring matrix, the norms of society. You're not there. You're here. You're working on yourself now. You realize that there's more to trading than just strategy. You realize that it's internal. Your subconscious mind, your programming, your thinking, your mindset. That's what this channel is all about. That's 99% of trading. Okay, so congratulations. You're very close to your level up. You're close to your breakthrough. Okay, it took me 10 years to get to this, to have that realization. And for you to be doing this for a couple of years, or even in your first year, some of you are in your first year and you're having this realization about psychology, congratulations, you're going to go far. Okay, so number 4 is the nervous system loop. Okay, it's the fight or flight response. So your nervous system has this reaction from your amygdala. It's like a knee-jerk natural reaction. Okay, and it's either you take a loss and you don't want to learn, you want to your flight, you take the flight out. Okay, you don't want to stick around and fight to learn from your loss, so then you never get better. Does that make sense? Because it's affecting your ego, and your amygdala has taken over, so you're not making any sense in your thinking. Does that make sense? And so you take a loss and you don't learn from it. There's no lesson out of it, and then the flight is, okay, let's change the strategy. You see? So then you're there trying to fix your ego and blame something else instead of taking responsibility and accepting full responsibility for yourself and your actions. You're there trying to blame an outside source. Oh, it's the broker, it's this, it's the mentor, it's the guru, it's that guy, it's this, it's the strategy. You're trying to fix something else but yourself. That is the nervous system loop. And that happens every week, you see? That one is a dangerous one. And you have to know it, because a lot of people don't know these things. They don't even know any of these loops. You have to understand all of these loops. These are psychological loops that replay in your trading every week, whether you like it or not. And it's the difference between being consistent and not consistent. Do you understand? So if you do want to become more consistent, okay, and improve your inner game, your internal programming, your subconscious programming, you want to rewire your subconscious mind for your trading, you want to overcome your FOMO, your revenge, you want to improve your self-image, your trader identity, you want to build your confidence, your self-esteem, have a structured routine, daily routine, all of that, then you need to join the program, okay? First link in the description, the Inner Edge Pro, okay? That's what we do. We go in, we have modules for everything, and we rewire you from the inside for trading to make you level up faster, okay? So that's what's on the table. If you want to do that, go for it, okay? If you're new to the channel, welcome. Like, subscribe, comment, drop a comment below. Let me know where you're at with your trading, okay? And I'll try to answer whatever questions you have. I read all the comments, but until the next video, you're on your own. Take care now. Goodbye.